Hello, my friends. Hello, my family members. This is your friend and your family member, Job Titus Cannon. And today, I want to talk to you today about a subject dealing with friends. Today, I want to talk to you about the characteristics of a good friend. Let me say that again. The characteristics of a good friend. One more time. The characteristics of a good friend. Now, many scientists and psychologists will say that in our lifetime, an individual will have anywhere from 2 to 5 good friends, and that's in their lifetime. When we talk about friendship, a friend is a person in your life who is close, who is empathetic, who is selfless, trustworthy, and shares similar interests with you. A friend is a person who you can call when you're in trouble, and you can trust that person to be there when you need them. Many people coin the phrase, coin this cliche, a friend in need is a friend indeed. Today, we're going to talk about some friends who heard about a man who can help their friend, who we also call our friend. This story comes from the Gospel according to Luke. This is Luke 5:17 through 25. We're going to stop at 25. This comes from the Amplified Bible. And it reads as such. It says, one day, verse 17, chapter 5 reads, one day as he was teaching, there were Pharisees and teachers of the law sitting there who had come from every village of Galilee and Judea from Jerusalem. And the power of the Lord was present with him to heal. So Jesus was there teaching, and these people was observing him. Some people were skeptics of him, but the power was upon Jesus because Jesus had the power, and he had the power to heal. So, number one, what a good friend does is perceives that there's a problem and there's a solution. Good friends look for not only the problem, but they look also for the solution. Verse 18 says this, some men came carrying on a stretcher a man who was paralyzed. Okay, these men, they brought this man who was paralyzed, and they tried to bring him in and lay him down in front of Jesus. Wow. Okay, but finding no way to bring him in because of the crowd, they went up on the roof. Now, before I go on, sometimes you can have good friends, and these friends are there to pull you up. And it says that these friends went on the roof. Now, let me tell you now, when you're dealing with a person that's paralyzed, that is dead weight. So they actually had enough strength and enough caring, enough passion and compassion to bring their friend on top of the roof. And not only did that, they removed some tiles to make an opening for him. Boy, if I had a parliament spirit, I would say they tore the roof off the sucker. And not only that, they lowered him through the tiles with his stretcher into the middle of the crowd and in front of Jesus. Good friends not only perceive a problem, good friends not only are there to pull you up, but good friends are there to place you in the right place. And I'm here to tell you that there couldn't have been any better place than being in front of Jesus. Verse 20 says this, when Jesus saw their active faith, springing forth confidence in him, he said, man, your sins are forgiven. Verse 21, The scribes and Pharisees, these were people that just, they considered themselves people that knew the law, and they were these people that were highly academic as far as the law and different things like that, saying, "Who is this man who speaks blasphemies, claiming the rights and prerogatives of God? Who can forgive sins? That is, remove guilt, nullify sins, penalty, and assign righteousness except God alone." Let me tell you, my brothers and sisters, every time that you try to do good, evil is always about. You always have people chattering when you're trying to do good. This is verse 22. But Jesus, knowing their hostile thoughts, answered them and said, "Why are you questioning these things in your hearts?" Verse 23. Which is easier to say, "Your sins are forgiven," or to say, "Get up and walk"? This is the kicker right here, verse 24. But in order that you may know that the Son of God, the Messiah, has authority and power on earth to forgive sins. This is what he said to the paralyzed man. I say to you, get up, pick up your stretcher, and go home. Get up and walk. Verse 25, and guess what? He immediately stood up before them, picked up his stretcher, and went home glorifying God. Which is the last thing that I want to talk. Good friends will help you pick up. Jesus helped a man because he gave him the command to pick up his bed and walk. My brothers and sisters, let me give you some things that good friends do, as these friends did. These are some things that good friends do for you, as these friends did. Number one, good friends recognize problems of their friend. Verse 18 says, of the 5th chapter, verse 18 says, some men came carrying on a stretcher a man who was paralyzed, and they tried to bring him in and lay him down in front of Jesus. If I want a friend to know that I have a problem, and I also want a friend to know that if I have a problem, I can go to you and you would do all you can to help me. And these friends were strong men, picked up this man that was paralyzed. They recognized the problems. Not only did they recognize the problems, number two, they stayed in proximity for their friend. Because in verse 19, part A, but finding no way to bring him in because of the crowd, they went up on the roof and removed some tiles to make an opening. They didn't say, "Hey man, we did all we could do. We can't do any more." They stuck with him. They stayed in proximity. Don't you want a friend that's going to stay with you when you're going through problems? Not just run and say, I can't do anything about it. Bye. And number three, we know that true friends recognize the problems. True friends stay in proximity. But also number three, these friends they stayed in place when needed with their friend. So be in place when your friends need you. Verse 19, the B section says, and they lowered him through the tiles with his stretcher into the middle of the crowd in front of Jesus. That's a good friend. A friend that's going to do all they can with all of their strength to help me. And lastly, things that good friends do is bring them to the power. And who is the power? Jesus. Because Jesus has healing power. I'm here to let you know, my brothers, Jesus has more healing power than the hem of his garment, than any hospital, than any person who can say that they are a healer. Jesus is the supreme healer. So these are 4 things that I want you to remember. Things that you can do as these friends did. Recognize your friend's problem. Stay in close proximity. Be in place when they need you. And bring them to the power. Verse 24b says, he said to the paralyzed man, I say to you, get up, pick up your stretcher, and go home. Jesus had the power, and Jesus has the power for you as well. My brothers and sisters, God has the ability to give you good friends in time of need. God will give you friends that will not only seek after your physical health, but also seek after your spiritual health. If you don't have a physical friend, my brothers and sisters, please know that God is your friend. And he is always looking out for your best interests. God bless you. Have a great rest of the week. Have a great weekend. And also know that God is your friend. And God will give you friends that will be there for you. God bless you.